Okay, did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Moving on, sorry.
Yeah, sir.
It's a really tough time to be on Broadway right now, with lower ticket sales, and you're going up against big productions. So, it's a little bit of a risk. So why now, and why does now feel right to you?
Well, I have a cast of characters, even though I'm by myself on stage. It's a full piece, and it's a real play. And I know for the last 10 years since I've been on Broadway, people on the street constantly saying, "Yo, when you gonna come back on stage, John? We missed your show. Where's the comedy?" So that's what I'm responding to.
I think this show also has like not that I read it, but I know it sells well, but it has like an Us and People magazine vibe to it, in that people are curious what it's like to be on a set, what Harrison Ford is like, what Al Pacino is like, and so it has a very pop culture quality to it that John's, all of his shows were great, but this has a little bit more of a commerciality to it. And
yeah, this is gonna be the one-man show that's gonna bust the career telling of yourself. You're gonna see 1,000 other actors come after we bust the formula and figure it out. This is gonna be it, because we're telling all the truth and moving it and creating the format and the paradigm for it.
but his mimicry
Has improved.
it has improved a lot.
I mean, that's not what he's gonna say, but
A lot now. It's
Do a
gotten a
math
lot
of it.
better. When I first saw the show, he was not good. No, he's incredible. Rich Little was always the guy that could do the voice and thing.
Yeah, Frank Gorshin too.
And Frank, yeah, John's mastering that, like, incredible. Which he has, he imitates people that we wouldn't know.
So you don't know if I'm doing it right, but
Yeah.
this time I am.
Now he's
Now
got to
you
get it.
judge me by something.
You know him, and their picture is going to be right behind him when he's doing it. So you better
Looking down on me.
Yeah, going
Judging
like this.
me.
Yeah, sending
also-
lawsuits to him.
Can
Yeah.
I toss in one tiny thing from the peanut gallery here? I think what's great about this show, it's not just a stand-up night. You need to understand that this is a journey and a play. That one guy is playing all these characters, and it's exciting. I think you left that part.
Thank you. Nailed the producer as well as the show.
There is a beginning, a middle, and an end, and the character is different at the end of the play than he is at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, my one-man shows have always been more of a play than a stand-up. I mean, it's always been a journey and revelation of some pain and real deep hurt and things that are damaging to the psyche. I mean, that's what I like to laugh at and make fun of, because I always feel like comedies are a little bit kind of light and unsubstantial, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe being a Latin person, that our emotions are all mixed in one, and we don't compartmentalize, so that's what I try to do in the shows.
And this has a kitchen sink drama element to it, so we even have kind of like an old kitchen table in the piece where
Right, which serves as the house.
serves as the house, and kind of John's family, gets into it. And not just that, his love life and everything goes on over there. So it's kind of interesting. It is like a play in that sense, more than I think his other shows.
Anybody else?
You're doing a retrospective at this point in your life, and assuming that your career is going to continue after this point in your life.
I doubt that.
Maybe not.
We can just close that chapter now.
All right. That was the answer. No. What's at this point of your life as opposed to 5 years ago, 5 years from now? Like, you're ending at a certain point. Why now?
The porn thing's really taken off for him. It's
Internet and porn and
It's
cable and
changed
sex,
yeah.
text.
So now that's what. No.
Yeah.
Why?
Like
Why?
Brett Favre, I'm doing the Brett Favre, like sorry. Went too long. I mean, I just felt like I experienced something that made me not want to go back to theater. It was very traumatic for me, and sort of coming back to theater was sort of salvation for me. So it just felt like the right time to write this story about me while I could still perform it. I can still move and dance and recreate these characters instead of just standing here, this is my life and this is what happened to me.
Wait, that too. I mean, the energy is insane, and
Yeah, don't let this fool you. This is at the end of a whole day of rehearsing. That's why I'm dressed like this too. I'm usually very flashy.
Yeah. No, the energy it takes for this play is. I mean, one of the things people say after they see it is, "How does he do it?" Because it's nonstop, and it's not just talking like this. He's moving. He's got. Sometimes he'll go up. He'll mix his characters up in the middle of rehearsal, and I go, John, who was that? Oh no, he'll forget. He's playing Pacino, and then he's playing himself, and then Ray all in one scene, and he's completely confusing who's who, and so it's a.
But it won't be like that by opening night.
No, that'll be ironed out.
Better clean that up.
Yeah.
You went to Chicago first?
It's a warm up. Chicago's just a warm up for Broadway.
Yeah, doing another 400-seat house, which we sort of hit every 400-seat house in the country, so we figured Chicago, why not?
Yeah, Chicago's always been a lucky place for me. It's always been a great. I did Spic-Rama and Freak and Sexaholics, and it's always been sort of my launching point. So.
How long is the run in Chicago?
11 performances, just 11.
Also,
Get it back up to match fit.
Yeah, it's nice to watching him work. It's good to get him warmed up in front of the audience and before the big, great white way. So, 'cause it kind of goes after 10 days later.
We're into tech, and then a week of tech, and then we're there. I think that's been one of the most fun things about this over the period of time is watching this show develop from the very first reading or the very first sort of $20 performance at Barrow Street at 11 o'clock at night, and watching it every stop that we've made, the changes that are made, taking the show apart, putting it back together again, and having that freedom to do that during the day, and then go that night in front of an audience and see how that work that we did during the day translates into that work at night. It's been a very refreshing, different way to develop a show. Certainly not a very profitable way, but certainly one that has, I think, worked very well for us in terms of getting the show to where we wanted it to be when all of us first got together a couple of years ago and said, let's just try something and see if this will work. And even after all those performances, we're still back in a rehearsal room. So it really has gone on its own journey, and it's been a journey to do it.
And doing the show has been inspirational. I mean, at first I was like, oh man, all the stuff that I'm telling people that I'd rather not let anybody know. But the audiences across the country has always been feeling very inspired by the end of the show. They feel like admitting all these things and fessing all this stuff up made people not want to quit their dreams and want to continue their dreams. I heard that all across the country, and that always fed me to continue the work and to continue going.
Or end their marriage. Or start it.
Thanks a lot.
End of Act 1.
I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you very much. Any more questions?
Sure.
So in Mambo Mouth and Spic-Rama, you dressed up as characters,
Yeah.
and Freak and Sexaholics, you were characters. How is this one? Is it more close to the other two or the last two?
That's interesting because we did throw in hats in this one. So there's a little bit of dressing up, but just with hats.
So no.
No full dressing up as
So I'm not
other
going to see
characters.
the woman John Leguizamo?
You're gonna see the John Leguizamo dressed like this, acting like a female, but not in my crotchless panties or anything.
Because Tu Wong Fu is one of my favorite movies. That is my guilty pleasure, I know, but
I don't blame
love
you.
it.
It's a hot flick.
It is, and you were hot in it.
I was too hot. I started getting tons of prison mail. It was very scary. I'm not making that up. That's true. I have the letter.
You'll
I
see
think
it.
I sent one.
Anything else? Ask away. Okay. Somebody want to take pictures? Talk to them individually? Have some wine and cheese.
Want us to serve you some
wine?